You're at your friend's LAN party, and someone pulls out a 17-inch behemoth that weighs more than a small dog. You crack a joke about it being a desktop replacement until you see the MSI Cyborg 17. It's the same screen size, but it's barely over half an inch thick and under 6 pounds. That's the kind of contradiction that makes you pause. How did MSI pull off a 17.3-inch gaming laptop this light without sacrificing power? And more importantly, does it actually deliver when you're in the heat of battle? Gaming laptops have long been caught between two extremes. Either they're thin and portable but underpowered, or they're brute force machines that feel like you're lugging a cinder block. The market gap is real. Gamers want performance without the bulk, and they want it in a chassis that doesn't scream workstation. The Cyborg 17 steps into that void right out of the box. The Cyborg 17 makes a strong first impression. The translucent black chassis isn't just stylish, it's functional. The matte finish resists fingerprints better than most glossy gaming laptops, and the angular aesthetic gives it a modern, almost cyberpunk vibe. At 0.83 inches thin and 5 pounds, it's not ultrabook light, but it's far from the 8-pound bricks of yesteryear. The hinge is sturdy, the lid doesn't flex when you lift it, and the keyboard deck feels solid under your wrists. MSI didn't cut corners on build quality here. Open the lid, and you're greeted by a 17.3-inch FHD display with a 144 Hz refresh rate. That screen is the heart of the experience. Colors pop with 100% sRGB coverage, and the contrast is punchy enough for dark scenes in games like Cyberpunk 2077. In fast-paced titles like Valorant or Apex Legends, the motion clarity is noticeably smoother than a standard 60. Adaptive sync is supported, so screen tearing is a non-issue when paired with an NVIDIA GPU. The bezels are thin, which maximizes immersion, and the anti-glare coating means you won't be squinting in bright rooms. Under the hood, the Cyborg 17 is packing some serious hardware. The Intel Core 7-240H processor is a hybrid architecture beast, blending performance and efficiency cores. In real-world use, it handles multitasking like a champ. Streaming, gaming, and Discord in the background? No problem. The NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5060 is where things get exciting. This isn't a last-gen mid-range card. It's a current-gen GPU with DLSS 3 support, which means AI-boosted frame rates in supported titles. In Cyberpunk 2077 with Overdrive mode and DLSS 3, I saw frame rates hover around 80 to 90 FPS at 1080p, which is playable with ray tracing enabled. That's not just good enough, it's competitive with last-gen high-end desktops. The memory and storage setup is equally impressive. 16 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM keeps everything snappy, and the 1 terabyte NVMe SSD boots Windows 11 in under 10 seconds. Game load times are lightning fast, and the SSD has enough bandwidth to handle large open-world titles without stuttering. The system even includes a Type-C port with Thunderbolt 4 support, which is rare in gaming laptops. That means you can connect an external GPU enclosure or high-speed dock for future-proofing. Wi-Fi 6E ensures low-latency online play, and the dual-fan cooling system keeps thermals in check. Even during extended gaming sessions, the fans... Let's talk real-world performance. In a 4K video editing session with Premiere Pro, the Core 7-240H and RTX 5060 handled 4K timeline playback and real-time effects without dropping frames. The laptop stayed cool to the touch, and the battery life, while not stellar at 4. For gaming, I tested a mix of titles. Elden Ring at ultra settings averaged 90 FPS. Call of Duty. Warzone hit 140 FPS with DLSS balanced, and even demanding titles like Alan Wake 2 ran at 60 FPS with DLSS 3 enabled. The 144 Hz display makes those high frame rates feel buttery smooth, and the RTX 5060's ray tracing performance is a noticeable step up from older mid-range cards. Of course, no product is perfect. The biggest trade-off is battery life. Gaming laptops prioritize performance. The keyboard is decent, but not mechanical. Gamers who prioritize tactile feedback might miss the clicky feel of a dedicated gaming keyboard. And while the display is great for gaming, it's not a high-end OLED panel, so don't expect perfect blacks or HDR brilliance. The speakers are also just fine. They're loud enough for gaming, but don't expect audiophile-grade sound. How does the Cyborg 17 stack up against the competition? Against the Asus ROG Strix G17, it's a tighter fit, both in size and price. The ROG Strix has a slightly better screen with higher brightness and better color accuracy, but the Cyborg 17's hybrid processor and RTX 5060 give it a performance edge in CPU-heavy tasks. The Lenovo Legion 7i is another strong contender, but it's often heavier and more expensive. The Acer Predator Helios 16 is a close match in specs, but MSI's build quality and cooling system feel more refined. In the $1,500 to $1,800 price range, the Cyborg 17 holds its own as a well-rounded package. So who is this laptop for? If you're a gamer who refuses to compromise on screen size but doesn't want to be chained to a desk, the Cyborg 17 is a game changer. It's for the student who wants to game after lectures, the remote worker who needs a portable powerhouse, or the content creator who dabbles in both gaming and productivity. It's not the absolute best in any single category. No laptop is, but it's the best all-rounder in its class. The MSI Cyborg 17 isn't just a gaming laptop, it's a statement. It proves that you don't have to choose between portability and power. With its sleek design, top-tier hardware, and thoughtful features like Thunderbolt 4 and Wi-Fi 6E, it's a machine that adapts to your needs. Yes, the battery life could be better, and the speakers aren't award-winning, but those are minor quibbles in a package this capable. If you're in the market for a 17-inch gaming laptop that won't break your back or your bank account, the MSI Cyborg 17 is the one to beat. It's not just a tool, it's an investment in your gaming future. So go ahead, take it to your next LAN party. Your friends won't know what hit them.